Welcome to Just Us, the podcast where we explore the magic of nerdy living. I'm DNDWife, your artistic guide to all things geeky and wonderful.
And I'm DM Eguile, your seasoned storyteller and passionate gamer. Together we're here to share our adventures and insights into living a fulfilling nerdy life.
Each week we dive into topics like navigating relationships in a nerdy world, maximizing your RPG experiences in small spaces, and growing your own herbs and veggies on a tiny patio.
We'll also share our favorite hobbies, budget-friendly tips for having epic fun, and stories from our homebrew world of Extreas.
Whether you're a fellow nerd, a tabletop enthusiast, or just looking for inspiration to pursue your passions, we've got something for you.
So grab your dice, your favorite snacks, and join us for a journey into the heart of nerdy living.
Tune in to Just Us, where love, creativity, and adventure are always on the agenda. Hey Nerd Fam, welcome back to Just Us, the podcast where we talk life, love, and all things nerdy. I'm DNDWife.
And I'm DM Eguile, and tonight we're tackling a topic so many of us can relate to, balancing work, life, and our favorite nerdy hobbies.
I just started a new job and I joined an online D&D campaign. So let's talk about the chaos that's been my schedule and the differences between in-person and online play and how I'm making it all work. Kinda.
Plus, we got some big plans for the new year, a video podcast streaming, and so much more. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it.
Yeah, so I started a new job.
Yeah, this is a big one for you. I think we talked earlier a while. It was like September-ish was my new job. So now it's your turn.
Yeah, it wasn't something I was expecting. So it wasn't a planned thing, which is why it kind of overlaps with the joining an online table.
Right.
And it caused a little bit of chaos with like the scheduling and stuff.
I feel like that's like the curse of D&D is like anytime you're like, all right, everything is perfect. And then another opportunity opens up. And you're like, I can't not do it. But then I got to, and it's like, you just deal with it. You find a way.
You figure it out, right? You try. But yeah, it was a difference because I'm starting like an hour earlier. And so I have to get up a lot earlier. I have to go to sleep a lot earlier. And so it's just kind of shifted my schedule a bit.
Yeah, and we have that whole fun thing where you work a day job and I work a night job.
Yeah, or at least your schedule is like a little flexible. So mostly you're at night, but a lot of the times you're also like in the mid shift. So yeah, it's kind of strange, but we find time. It is a little difficult, but we figure out ways to spend time together.
I know it's always tough too, right? It's like that first couple of months, like trying to get used to a new schedule or a new routine. I mean, heck, it's like even just trying to like not drive to your old place of work.
That was tough the first couple of days because the route to my new job is kind of the same route to my old, so it's a little difficult not to just keep going in the other direction that I was used to doing before.
Yeah. I kind of, it's like it's been almost a year and I still end up accidentally trying to like go to the old job.
But it's been really exciting though. I'm learning really new stuff. I'm growing with it's like a smaller company, but it's also a lot like more intense with the work I'm doing. So I'm just really excited to be where I am, but it is a little exhausting.
I think it's really that whole thing too, where it's like you want to take opportunities when you can, like you even said, you weren't really looking for a new job, but when, opportunity knocks, I mean, you gotta take it.
Yeah. Like it was something I wasn't really looking into. I was a little, not upset, but like disillusioned with the management at work. It was a little tough to keep going with no raise and no significant assistance to us in the daily life. Like our managers were hardly ever there. So it was very difficult to get answers anytime I needed something. So it just kind of made for an uncomfortable work environment. So I was like, maybe I should find something new. And just on a whim, I decided to start looking, and I found it and I applied, thinking, I might not get it just because it calls for some, maybe like one or two things I might not have the best knowledge of. Yeah. So, it's probably a long shot. I didn't think I was going to get it really.
I mean, yeah, right. But that's like the thing. I feel like, even if you are kind of in a good spot, there's no harm in cruising through Indeed every now and then.
Right,
I mean, I have alerts to see if something, finding jobs, especially new jobs or advancement, it's really a timing thing. It's just like D&D, right? Like it's all about timing. And
knock on wood, and I don't want to say this too cavalierly, but it might be that like dream job scenario, and I'm not trying
Ooh,
to,
big call, big
I'm
call on
not
that
trying
one.
to like jinx it or anything, but it's been really nice. And even though like the work is a little weird and I'm getting used to it, it just feels a little like fulfilling. I don't know. I like it.
Hey.
Yeah. But it is a little bit of a challenge with the time management because I'm getting up earlier. For right now anyway, I'm feeling like I'm not getting enough rest as it is. So it's always tough when I'm so groggy all the time, and really when I'm like nodding off by like 9 p.m. It's like a little strange.
Yeah,
But I'm hoping with time.
yeah, right. I mean, I think obviously it's especially tough if you go from like having more of a nightlife to switching to more of a daytime job.
Yeah.
That always can be a rough transition. I never liked it. I always
Right.
like my night jobs because it's just a little easier.
I do too, but there in my field there aren't really too many night jobs. Of that it does require like as early as possible, without being like the day over. So
Yeah, right. And the thing too is like it's like if you come into it like planned and you kind of have a strategy for what you're
yeah.
doing, I mean that's really the first step. And I think the hardest thing is just kind of keeping yourself to the new strategy or the new plan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, obviously you're so used to staying up late or doing something. It's like, nope, time to go to bed. Set a timer, go to bed. Make sure you go and start getting that routine.
Yep. It was definitely tough the first couple of nights where I just wanted to kind of stay up, especially with you when you're working your later shifts and you come home, and I kind of want to see you before I go to bed.
Right.
And so we want to spend some time and not just a couple minutes saying hi and bye before I nod off.
Yeah.
And so that made it a little difficult too. So I found ways in which I could, make up for that. We do things ahead of time, especially myself. I try to do things more on the times that I'm home alone, especially around the house, things I have to do for like the podcast or the blog. That way, when I do have free time that is shared with you, I can just focus it on you.
Yeah. I mean, back when we first got married years and years ago, we used to have it where it was very difficult because we were on such different schedules, never seeing each other, but we never got ahead like we do now.
We never did. It is because obviously it was the first time we'd never really experienced it that way before. And if I remember correctly, the time differences were like completely opposite. It was almost exactly 12 hours apart.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas this job isn't quite that varied.
I'm home before you go to bed.
So it's not something where I'm just like, oh, I never get to see him anymore. It's been an adjustment, but it's not something that it's like, oh, this is destroying our life and making it worse or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you've set up like a new sleep time schedule, little alarms around the house.
Yeah, we started doing Pokémon Sleep a while back, and so it helps you do like set a time to go to bed, and I use that as my little scheduler.
There you go,
that
it works. Hey,
Yeah.
combos, gaming and being productive and getting sleep.
Yeah, I also unfortunately had to cut back on a little bit of the late night gaming with you.
Yeah, those things happen.
Yeah, we've been really getting into Zomboid, and I've been trying to get more into StarCraft, but it's been a little tough with this new. So I have to, ease into it, get used to it, and then hopefully I can come back and start gaming it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really just finding. I mean, I think it's like just like like planning and scheduling Dungeons and Dragons, right? You just kind of find little meshes that work, and luckily there's so many people out there that want to play or do that. If you only have like 5 hours on a Tuesday, there might be 4 other people that have 5 hours on a Tuesday that they can dedicate to playing.
Right. And this last one is going to make me sound like such a square, but it really,
Old
really
fogey.
works. I just have a really good breakfast and daily exercise. It just kind of helps me keep going. It keeps my energy up. So there are these really cool overnight oats recipes that I have with like fresh fruit or granola that you can make the night before, even like the Sunday before your week, set them all up and have them ready so that you can just have breakfast ready to go. And it's really filling. It's a lot. It tastes delicious because it uses like honey and natural flavorings like that. So I just really like it. It's a really good energy booster too, especially with fresh fruit in there. And for the daily exercise, if I do it the lazy way, in my opinion, because I have a little step machine at my desk and I just do that all day. So it's a very low intensity exercise, but I really find it helps kind of keep me stable. It also kind of gives me a lot of energy coming out of the day. I don't feel too groggy. I don't feel like I've just been run down.
Gotcha.
But it's also been a little bit of a challenge. No worries. Right. It's been a little bit of a challenge because right before this sort of unexpected change in jobs, I joined an online D&D table.
Yeah, which is very new for us. Obviously, I don't mess around with the online stuff.
Right, I've never done it before, and it was just for a mini campaign, so it wasn't like anything big. It was just kind of to dip my toes in, which is really nice. So we ended up forming a little group. It's partially people from our table,
mostly
and then
my table.
Yeah, and then there's a few other players that kind of join in as well. So it's part of also our Discord and the shared Discord. I don't know, the sister Discord we have with our artist Entlink. She has this awesome Discord where she has a D&D little channel as well for her art and stuff. So we ended up meeting the DM for that on her server, and she also became part of our Discord server. It's been really nice. She has a lot of good art, a lot of good ideas. So I'm really excited. And that was honestly one of the big draws towards joining the table, because we saw kind of what her aesthetic was, and I was like, she's really cool. She's got an edgy vibe, so I'm really digging what she's got to say. So I was really excited for at least a little mini D&D campaign that I could dip my toes in for online, because it's definitely weird. I've never done that before, as strange as it is, because that's technically the more popular medium right now. So yeah, and then it was a little weird when I had to create a character, because I didn't quite know. She was very loosey-goosey with the way, because she was trying to just kind of give us all enough kind of leeway so that we could do kind of what we wanted only a little bit of restrictions.
She's like a rookie DM. I think it's whatever for first.
Yeah, she's learning. And so I think she also just didn't want to be too restrictive on what we could do. So she was just just low magic and level 3. And I think that's all she said. So it was just okay, I got to figure it out. So I went online to a little character generator that she had linked us to, and you just kind of put in what you want, what level you want it as, put in a name, and it'll generate everything for you. The character sheet in whatever style too. I think it had Pathfinder, the D&D Beyond pages, regular D&D 5e, a bunch of different types of character sheets that you could turn all of that information into. It made it super, super easy. If I can find or remember what the website is, I will definitely link it in the video or in the Discord, and we'll let you guys know.
That's dope. So.
But I really liked that, and so that's what I did. I just kind of plugged in my numbers and my things, and I created my character Lucy. Lucy is just this little shy girl, because we're all high schoolers. It's a very it's a very Riverdale style campaign. So we're all high schoolers, and some of us are rich kids, and some of us are from the wrong side of the tracks.
Right.
And we're all there, and it's very supernatural too, because our friend Crowley invited us. We haven't seen her in years because she ghosted us for 5 years. We haven't seen her. She's finally back. So we created this whole backstory for her. I just really liked it. It's been really fun so far working through everything, especially only being able to play 2 hours a night every other week.
That's always the tough part.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you've kind of done both, I mean, you kind of have that where you can kind of see the difference between obviously you've
short
been playing,
play and long play.
Right, you've been playing where normally I think the shortest we do is 8 hours.
Yeah, I think the shortest we've ever done is maybe 6 hours,
right?
And that's minimum. And that's ooh, that's too short. I didn't have enough time to do what I wanted. So it was definitely an adjustment to 2 hours. And, depending on if there were different circumstances or disruptions, it could be anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it just depended, but there were ups and downs, I think, to it. I like the short format. It's not bad if it's, run well and the story kind of follows that, because our mini campaign really fits in well to that smaller style. So we didn't have to rush through to feel like we were doing something.
Right.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the biggest challenge. If you're doing a long campaign online, you really want to enrich the story and actually spend a lot of time building up, whatever happened to your character. But with the short play and the smaller mini campaign, it felt like it fit together quite well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the only thing with like short play is just more of like you have to be ready to go, right?
Yeah,
like,
you do.
It's like long play, you can take breaks, you can kind of have time to like mess around, but it's like, man, I got 2 hours. You got to get what you need to get done.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was definitely a challenge because I had to like make dinner and then come back and be ready and have everything set up. We had like a website, I think it's called Owlbear, where she had our maps set up and everything. That's so dope. We would log on to there, and that's where we would roll on digital dice. That was also my first ever experience with digital dice. I'm gonna put that one in the con column because I miss my shiny rocks. I don't
roll those clickety clackities.
Yeah, I don't like not being able to roll the dice myself. That sounds so bad. But I just really missed my dice. I kind of want them back. So I'm gonna put that one in the con column. But overall, it was a great experience, and it's still ongoing. So I'm still having to figure out how that works in with the new job too, because we start the campaign like at the sessions like at 8. And they go on to like 10, but like I have to go to bed around that time.
Right. And I think it's different too because you guys meet every week.
Mm-hmm.
So like online does kind of give you that like that flexibility of being able to meet. Whereas, our table meets, every 3 to 4 weeks just because of it's kind of harder to get everyone available to come over.
Right.
So, I mean, that is kind of also puts a little different, it might be 2 hours, but it's 2 hours every week.
That is true. I kind of forgot about that point where yes, it is very short, but it's also we play very often, so it doesn't feel like we're missing out on too much or like we're, forgetting what happened before because it's been so long.
Yeah, because I mean, I will say sometimes that happens is like, when we come off of a large break, it's like, oh man, it's been so long. What did we do?
Yeah, but I don't get that with this. I think also the meticulous note taking helps across the board. It just does. I always recommend note taking. It's fun. I'm just a nerd that way. But it has been a little difficult with the early start. I just, with having to go to bed like right after the sessions end, it makes it difficult, especially when I also kind of want to talk to you when you come home from work and I want to, spend time with you as well.
I know when I come in, I try not to interrupt, and it's like, I keep everything separate as I can just hear you having your accents and voices going on next to me.
Yeah. In this one, I don't have too much of an accent. It's more like I'm just like a quiet, shy person, so I talk very low. So yeah, I adapted like a little bit of just like a shy person persona for this one.
And then, you guys, a lot of times I see you guys going even past the time you say you're going to stop at.
Yeah, especially during the combat scenarios. Like, of course, you want to keep going. You want to know how it ends. You really want to get to that end point. And staying up and keeping playing has been really tough to just be like, sorry guys, I have to go to bed. I really can't afford to stay up past this time. It was different when I was at my old job because obviously I started later, so I didn't have to worry about it as much. I could go an extra hour and not worry, which is why I was okay with starting at that time in the first place. But now it's become a little more difficult, so I have to be a little bit more strict with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always like, you want to balance that, you don't want to be too much and waste too much time. Waste is a bad word, sorry, but like take too much time and then not either be productive or, like we always say, get in the way of sleep or work or time, but I think you're still having pretty much fun with it, right?
I have been, and it's also kind of been a challenge with being able to like structure my schedule around it. I've had to get, I guess, better at getting my what I'm gonna very loosely call chores at home done. So all the things I have to do, it's been definitely a challenge being able to like do it and still keep up that momentum of staying on the sessions.
No, I gotcha. But if you haven't heard on our You Heard It From Us podcast, one of our other podcasts in the Couple of Nerds productions, we have big plans coming up for this new year, trying to move into new media and new mediums. I mean, obviously, you stretching out with the Discord online group kind of made us think a little bit more of reaching out even further.
Right. Keeping up the momentum and growing a little bit more. I like that. So we're hopefully going to start trying to do some video podcasting here pretty soon.
Right. Yeah. We figured, it's hard to always just connect to someone's voice. And it's one of those things we were kind of, when we first started this program, we're very hard trying to keep ourselves away from it. But I think there really is a point where you kind of have to just kind of pull back the curtain and let everyone see you for who you are. And we think that'll help out also connecting more of our listeners and viewers. And that'll be a nice way for other people to enjoy on things like YouTube.
Yeah, I've had a few comments where they're like, I love the podcast, but I'd love to see it video.
Yeah, I think there is a visual component to it, and that, if you're gonna be sitting around listening to people talk, it's kind of nice to see them as well.
You're
and see
right,
the
see
expressions.
their faces, yeah.
And we're gonna first start with just us and the You Heard It From Us, because these are the ones that are just featuring myself and DNDWife, and hopefully as we get further on with our more community podcasts, we can see some of those opening up to video as well, to allow for better interaction and visibility as well.
I'd love to see what that looks like.
Yeah, but that's going to be a work in progress. Hopefully in March, probably sometime by the end, we'll maybe have our first video up, and bear with us while we learn this new technology to get more involved. But that's not the only thing with using Discord and having a lot more fun with it. We are looking to probably be streaming more of various gaming between myself and DNDWife, with me being the more experienced and DNDWife learning the best she can.
I'm the noob.
But we do have a lot of different games that we both play that a lot of people don't know. So, we also are not very good at a lot of these games, so any kind of advice. So we are planning on to start streaming first on Discord and YouTube, then maybe eventually Twitch. Hopefully. It's just another way to go out and connect and invite people to come play. We have plans for a Project Zomboid run. If anyone is interested in joining us, that should be pretty interesting.
That would be cool.
But it is something to kind of expend our nerdy reach to the community out there.
Right. We already game it up. Might as well stream with a community of like-minded individuals.
Yeah. And we're trying to really grow. When we started this podcast about a year ago, we really never thought we'd be even to where we are now. And that's not to say we're some big, listened and followed group. Every one of you who listens is just amazing, because it really gives us an opportunity to know that people want to hear this, people want to listen, and people want to get involved.
We really appreciate it. So this is our way of kind of being like, okay, we got to reach back out.
Yeah, and we know there's a lot of steps you have to take, and you got to kind of earn your stripes on the internet and podcasting, and we want to show that we're continuing to grow. And if you look at where we first started on the first seasons of just us, definitely a different podcast than it is now.
Oh yeah, and we look forward to it changing and growing as we go.
So as always, be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on any podcasting platform. But also you can catch it on YouTube, currently in audio only format, but soon to be video format. We also post various shorts and memes and stuff from our own lives and different humorous jokes. So if you're ever looking for a laugh, a Couple of Nerds Productions on YouTube is where it's at.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. And our Couple of Nerds Productions Discord is also open to you guys for not just watching us stream, but if you want to ask questions about our homebrew, our lore drops, we're always there.
And it's both real world and role play. We have role play servers. If you wish to speak to some of the cast members of our campaigns, they are always willing to discuss things in character in our various RP chat rooms as well. So there are various places you can go to connect.
Too true. You can always ask Luna where she comes from. She might answer if she remembers.
But what we really want to end with is just we have fine goals for the new year, and it's only because of all of you out there.
Absolutely.
Because of all the likes, all of the subscriptions, all of the add-ons, it just shows us that we actually are doing something that people like.
Yeah, and that kind of motivation, it's just encouraging. It helps us. It lets us know that people are interested. So keep doing it. Right. Keep supporting us, and we'll keep pumping out more content. I
mean, as of now on YouTube, as we're recording this, we're at 75 subscribers, which may not seem small, but for only 6 months worth of work, I feel like it shows that there is a potential here.
I'm just glad it's not all friends and family,
At this point, we can definitely rule that out.
I don't know that many people. But that's a wrap on tonight's episode. Balancing a new job and a new D&D campaign has been a challenge, but totally worth it. Nerd life never stops.
Absolutely. And with all the exciting things coming up, video podcasts, gaming streams, and more, we are only just getting started.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, review, and subscribe, and come hang out with us on Discord. We'd love to hear how you balance work and nerdy hobbies.
Until next time, stay nerdy and keep rolling those dice.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Just Us. We hope you enjoyed diving into our nerdy world and picked up some tips for your own adventures.
We'd love to hear about your own nerdy hobbies and see your unique living spaces. Connect with us on a Couple of Nerds Discord. Share your stories, photos, and join the conversation with fellow nerds.
And don't forget to check out our Couple of Nerds YouTube channel. We post videos showcasing the hobbies, crafts, and small living space innovations we cover in each episode.
Whether it's painting miniatures, growing a garden on your balcony, or setting up the perfect RPG space in your apartment, we've got plenty of inspiration and tips to share.
Subscribe, like, and comment on our videos, and stay connected with us through all our adventures.
Until next time, keep embracing your inner nerd and living your best geeky life.
Thanks for listening to Just Us, where we come together in nerdy harmony.